about the fourth time this year, the voluntary assisted returnees from Libya are making their way back home. On board this aircraft are 154 Nigerians, and of this lot, for the first time, females outnumber males.
We had a total of 3 medical cases, and we had also about 9 females who we would regard them as vulnerable. Either they came with children or they were expectant. Most of them came from detention centers in Libya. They were not because they had committed any crime, but because they were in Libya illegally.
As they file out of the aircraft, the face of many remain despondent, and they have many tales of woe to tell.
One of my girlfriends that deceived me, that they have a housework to do. So I follow her to that place. So I see that the environment is not okay for me. So one day we are in living house. So police and I came to box the house. So they now took us, all of us, to prison. I spent almost 2 months and a half in prison.
These 3 young girls were lured to Italy, were stopped en route Libya, were arrested and kept in detention camps with many other Nigerians. Not willing to face the camera, they say never again to the suffering they went through. While the issue of illegal migration is pertinent, a top official of NEMA says how much repatriation costs and what campaigns are run to dissuade others.
The cost implication is very huge to the federal government. As we can see, we have to provide them a lot of services, medical services. We have to transport them back to their various states. And we also have the mandate to educate Nigerians. But on these particular issues, we encourage states and the National Orientation Agency to do more of this job, because their mandate fits into this properly.
No fewer than 550 Nigerians have returned in batches from Libya since March, when the IOM started the voluntary return program.
Nigerian deportees from Libya rush to the Synagogue Church of All Nations.
The countenance of these young people says it all. Distraught, downcast, and despondent after returning to Nigeria from a journey of inhumane treatment. These are among the 154 Nigerians who were recently deported from Libya to Nigeria on the 10th of October 2016.
Lucky to be alive after embarking on such a treacherous journey, this is just one of the groups of deportees who have sought assistance from TB Joshua and the Synagogue Church of All Nations over the years, knowing that their plea for help would not be ignored.
Having been stripped of their dignity as a result of their humiliating experience, upon arriving in Nigeria, this batch, like many others in the past, decided to come straight from the airport to the Synagogue Church of All Nations to seek refuge and restoration. Each of them have a harrowing story to tell of deception, abuse, cruelty, and torture. Let's hear from some of them.
Viewers all over the world, the church just received a call from the security that there are a lot of people that have arrived here at the church gate. So right now you can see all the people here, and right now I want to find out who they are. So let's go ahead and hear from one of them. You're very welcome here today. Can you explain to us who you are and who the people are here today, and what is the reason why they've come?
Good morning. We are deportees from Libya. So we are here because we got deported yesterday, and we are here for the man of God to help us, because we need help from the man of God. That's why we are here. Before we've been deported, we got to Libya and we were arrested in Libya because we tried to cross to the other side to Europe country. So that was why we were being arrested, and we were being put in jail for 3 months plus. And now God answered us and bring us out from the prison and brought us back home successfully. And now we are back to our country.
Where we have watched the footage there, and we saw when they returned and the condition they returned back to the country. And now we have them in our midst, and they shall be coming forward and to share the details of their experiences they passed through on this journey. And as they come into our midst right now, let us get ready to learn lessons, both youths, parents, to all are sundry. We have a lot of lessons to learn because this has become a plague in the whole world today. It has become a problem to different nations. So here you see them coming forward right now to share their experiences.
Vous voyez en direct ces personnes qui ont voyagé en Libye et qui ont été déportés hier et qui sont rentrés au Nigeria dans un état terrible. Ils ont vécu des expériences humiliantes et difficiles dans le désert, dans l'emprisonnement, au risque de leur propre vie. Mais ils sont venus chercher l'assistance du prophète Joshua pour que Dieu puisse les faire sortir de la situation terrible dans laquelle ils sont trouvés. Certains d'entre eux ont passé des mois en prison dans la souffrance et dans la torture. Nous allons les écouter bientôt.
Vamos a escuchar la experiencia que han tenido estas personas de Nigeria que han sido deportadas desde Libia tratando de cruzar ilegalmente a Europa. Estas personas han pasado por un trayecto muy difícil y han venido hasta la Synagogue iglesia de todas las naciones a pedir la ayuda del hombre de Dios, del profeta Joshua, por toda la calamidad y los problemas que han atravesado por esta causa. Así que vamos a escuchar la experiencia de vida que han tenido estas personas tratando de encontrar un mejor futuro al viajar ilegalmente hacia otro país, hacia Europa. Escuchemos su testimonio.
My name is Sharon Kebo. I am 18 years old.
Good morning. My name is Kalu Joma. I'm 19 years old.
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel Success. I'm 18 years old.
Good morning. My name is Judith Tumarova and I'm 19 years old.
Okay, because of time, let's hear their experience straight away. So we have many of them in our midst, as we can see, who are teenagers, and we want to hear experience from one of them, one of the teenagers in our midst.
Good morning. My name is Stephen Choisi. I'm from Edo State, Nigeria. I'm a deportee, and here are my fellow deportees. We arrived last Monday. So we were traveling to Europe illegally. On our way, we got arrested and in prison before they finally deported us to this place. A majority of us here, we are being sponsored by our brothers overseas. They never told us that the journey we are going to embark is a risky journey, a journey between life and death. A majority of us here also borrowed money that we use in entering the same journey. My story goes like this. My friend in Italy, I was an hairdresser before I left Nigeria. My friend in Italy, she told me that I can use that same handwork to earn good money in Europe. I said, okay, fine, no problem. She convinced me and said I should come. I was impressed. So I went to my mother, I told her, she encouraged me, and she borrowed 280,000 to the 100,000 I was having. That was 280,000. So I deposited the money to the man that was carrying us. Even up to now, I don't know the face of the man. We were only communicating through phone. So we were 48 in the place the man said we should meet together. An in-laws came and took us. That in-laws should at least contain 8 people. So in that in-laws, we were 48 on it, and we were being loaded. In-laws van, we were being loaded on it. And at the surrounding of the in-laws, they were being stick surrounding it, and that surrender, anybody that wants to hold the stick will hold it well so that the person will not fall down. Because anybody that fall down in desert, the driver will not wait for the person. The person will just die there. It won't take the person 4 hours before the person will die. So we embarked on the journey on a desert. The desert we are talking about, the sun there I can't describe. It's very hot. There is no tree. There is no plant. There is nothing. Everything you see around you is just sand. And when we were even in the desert, we were hearing strange voices, like human voices that we can't see them, but we know that they are voices from humans. So we their spirits, their voices that we can see. Like, woo, woo, human voices that we can see, they are there also. And we spent 3 good days in desert. We did not sleep, we did not eat, nor drink water. So because the driver man did not wait for us. We got to a village after the desert. So we saw a well that was deep a long time ago. We don't even know the years the well has been there. So we saw water. We all were happy. We rushed to that place. The water on the well was not even clean. It was dirty, but we don't have any choice. We were happy because we saw water. We drank the water before we now finally knew that there's a dead body inside the well. And the dead body has been there for the past 3 days. And we told them that if we knew that there is dead body, we don't have any choice. We still drink the water because we have not taken anything for the past 3 days. So that was that. We left that place. And we also met some accident in-laws on the way. That accident in-laws, they caught fire. 3 sisters died the same spot, while the rest were totally injured. Even our in-laws, a boy almost fell down. It was the co-colleague that dragged his shirt and told him not to stop sleeping because when he falls down, the driver will not wait. That would be the end of him. So that was how we finally got to Sabah. In Sabah, a watermelon truck came, a truck that do use in carrying watermelon. It came and loaded us like sardines.
Okay.
You sit like this, you open your leg, other person will enter, that one will open her leg, a boy will enter, the boy will open his leg. That was how we
So you mean both male and female?
Both male and female, both children. Both men and female.
Will be packed together?
We are packed together in the watermelon truck. The watermelon, they put it in a net and placed it in our head. And cartons, empty cartons, they use it to block our front so that the security men in Libya will not know that there are migrants inside there. So that was how we got to seaside. The sea camp was not easy at all. We eat once a day there, and if we want to eat, we eat on our palm. They will, because we were 500 on it, they will call out 20 people. One person in that 20 group will divide the food into 20 places. So you have to stretch out one hand, they will put the food for you. That's your portion for that day. Stretch your hand. They'll put the food for you, then use this one to be eaten. That's the food for that day. So we were bathing with the water, and the water was coming directly from the sea, and it was salty. If you want to drink it, you have to close your eye first before you drink it, because the water was not good at all. Even the water, due to we were bathing so that we can have strength, the water even burnt my skin. This is the evidence.
So you mean those marks we are seeing there is as a result of bathing with the salt water from the sea?
Yes.
And drinking the same?
And drinking it. If you want to urinate, you'll be crying before you urinate because it will be paining you because everything you are drinking is all salty. And the food we have been cooked with, it was cooked with sugar.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The food we have been cooked with sugar. Even in that place, many people fell sick. They fainted, different sickness was coming up. While some men tried to escape, so they caught them and put them in an abandoned pit. They did not give them food for 1 week. They were in there before they finally pushed us to the seaside where we are going to enter what is called Lapa Lapa. It's an inflatable balloon. They blow it. We were in the first boat, and when we were at the seaside, we overheard the captain and the men that want to push us aboard the Lapa Lapa. They were arguing about what is called Turaya. We don't know what is called Turaya. The captain said they can't go without Turaya. They bailed up to the captain and said he should go and ride the boat. So the captain does not have any choice. Either he ride it or they will kill him there. Yeah, the Lapa Lapa is a balloon, inflatable balloon, like I said before. They blow it. And in that sea camp, we don't wear earring. They collected our earring, they collected our brazier, we cut our fingers.
Why?
Because if it touched the balloon, it will burst it.
Okay, so it's the inflatable boat was so fragile that any sharp
object
could deflate it.
Yes.
And what will happen?
The boat will capsize and everybody is going to the sea.
Okay.
There was no life jacket because they told us that it was the Italy rescue that would come that would give us life jacket. So I was putting on this cloth. So majority of us here also have the cloth. And this is the same cloth I've been wearing for 7 months.
Just this one?
Just this one. So they finally pushed us there. And on our way going, when we got to Italy territory, we found out that Turaya is a social network phone in the sea that they used to call Italy Rescue. We don't have it. So we were all praying that rescue should come on their own, but rescue did not come. So we all decided to go back to Libya where we were coming from, but our fuel got finished on the way, in the middle of the sea, middle of nowhere. All you see there is water. Look to your right, water. Look to your left, water. And the water
so you could not see land, you could not see trees, nothing.
And the water is even scary because the way the water was, the Mediterranean Sea, it was not a thing that someone would use his eye to see. So we were on top with the lapa that was not covered.
Without life jacket?
Without life jacket.
How many of you were packed on the inflatable boat?
We are 140.
140?
Yes.
Was the boat so large as to contain 140 people?
No.
It was
but
meant
we are sitting the same lapa. You sit down, open your leg, other person will enter. Then when we open his leg, other person will enter. So that was that. And inside the boat, we also have children.
Okay. So how many people was the boat supposed to carry?
Supposed to carry at least 38, 40. But we are loaded 140 on it.
Okay, now tell us, how long did you spend on the sea?
We spent 3 good days on the sea without fuel. It was the wave that was directing the lapa. Inside there, you urinate in the boat. Inside there, you want to toilet, you toilet there. If you want to vomit, you vomit there. Even the guy that died in the boat, his body has already been swollen and it was peeling, smelling already, but we all were still inside the boat.
And you couldn't throw the body out of the boat?
No, we were afraid at the first time because they warned us that nothing should be thrown into the sea because it will attract shark and other stuff. But we don't have any choice. They were saying that they should throw the dead. There is no business between dead and the living. So they finally agreed and threw the body. It was the 3rd day they threw the body to the sea.
So were there only adults or, let me say, grown-up youth like you, or were there also children in the boat?
Yeah, they were teenagers underage, but they are not here now. Okay. They've gone home. They were all inside the boat, even children. They were still inside the boat.
You mean children that were still younger than your own age?
That was younger, more younger than my age.
Like what age bracket?
Like 14, 15, 16. But they are not here now.
Okay. They've gone to their parents?
Yes, they've gone to their
From
parents.
where? From the airport?
From the airport.
Okay.
Even the migration officer, they detained them because they are underage. It was lucky that they left the following day to their various homes.
Okay, so the first day, 2nd day, 3rd day on the sea, can you give us a picture of what you went through? You said you used to urinate and defecate inside the same boat.
Yes.
Okay, how did you manage to eat, drink water?
There is no food, no water. They only threw 70 little cans of water
for
into
150
the boat,
people.
For 140 people to drink. And that can be, the way the water leaked out, none of us know. We only saw empty can, and our boat was even leaking. Water from the sea was entering inside the boat, and the boat was on the point of dividing into 2, where everybody will fall into the water. So we have to cut the can and be using it to be bailing water to the sea. Even some guys will put their shirts, soak it, and be putting water in the sea. So that was how we are. We had no food, don't have food, no water. Before we left Libya, we were praying that Italy or Germany rescue should come and see us, not Libya rescue. But in that condition, we were praying for Libya rescue to come and rescue us, to go to jail, because we don't want to die on the sea.
Okay, so what now happened did you finally get to Italy, or what happened on the way?
No, we didn't get to Italy. We were still in Libya territory before they arrested us and took us to prison. So we spent 3 months in the prison. We have been feeding on one food every day. Same food.
Same food every day.
Every day. We spent 3 months in the prison. Before IOM, International Organization of Migration, finally came to our aid and asked us if we are going to our country. We said yes, we want to go to our country. So that was how they processed our paper. And here is my document.
Well, you have listened to her. So eventually when they were rescued from the sea and were taken to the prison by the authorities, from there an international organization came to their rescue, processed documents for them, and sponsored their repatriation back to the country. Okay, tell us, what document are you holding with you there?
This is my passport, and this is my boarding plane ticket. This is what the IOM provide for us, and this is what they use in deporting us. At the airport, they gave us these clothes, and see, we are all putting on the same clothes and the shoes to board the plane, because they said the cloth we are wearing is not good to enter the plane. So that's why they gave us this one. And when we get to airports, they also gave us 35, airports in Lagos, they gave us 35,000 naira to go to our various homes. So I decided to come to this place to seek for Papa's help.
Okay. Okay, you mean on your own you decided that you were coming to
Yeah, I said I'm coming to Synagogue to meet Prophet TB Joshua and seek for his advice and his help also.
Okay, so when you were on the journey and you started experiencing this terrible condition, what began to come into your mind?
I don't know. I wish I did not leave my home and my country. That was what was coming through my mind.
Okay, now tell us, what actually were you looking for that made you to embark on this kind of a very terrible and deadly journey? What were you looking for? What did you expect to get where you are going?
Going to Italy, they told me I'm going to have a document after staying in the camp. So I was hoping that my handwork would fetch me good money. And I was being even deceived by the man that was carrying me, because he told me I would confirm Italy within 2 weeks, but he landed me 7 months, and now I'm back in Nigeria.
So you mean you spent 7 months on this journey?
Yes.
And you did not get to your destination?
No.
And now you are back to your country?
To my country.
So you have listened to the sister. She said she hoped to get a better life out there in Italy, and that was what motivated her to go on this journey. But remember, it is time to study our achievers in the world today. How many of those things in a foreign land, how many of those who achieved in a foreign land? It is where God wants you to make it that you will make it, not where you want to make it or where you admire. It is not the job you admire most that is often your destined job. The job you admire most is not often the job that you are destined for, but the one you do not admire may turn out to be your destined job. So from what she's explaining right now, she was hoping to go outside there to another man's country to make it, leaving her own country, leaving the little she was managing. But on the way, she said she regretted the journey. How would you describe this journey altogether? If you were to describe in one word, how will you describe this journey?
It's a journey of no return. And it's a regrettable journey also.
It's a regrettable journey?
Yes.
Okay, now considering the role you said your mother played, what would you say to parents about it?
My advice to the mothers, they should please, not what your children bring that you support them. You first of all check the background of what they said, and you first of all think twice before agreeing to their suggestion. Many died. You'll be here praying that your children should come, and you don't know that the child is already be dead. So my advice to them is to please stop supporting the children through illegally land processing.
Well, you have heard that, and this is a food for thought for our parents, because Oftentimes, our parents will believe that education is enlightenment, and traveling outside the country is success, is breakthrough. Education is not enlightenment. And our parents, once your children graduate, you often tell them to get married. Is it because of marriage that you send them to university? I hope you are listening, our parents. What legacy have we given to our children? What future have we given to our children? In terms of character, education, 0. Before sending your children abroad, you must have a thorough basis for that. You are sending such a child to another country with money you are supposed to put down to train them. Who will train your children for you over there? You can't train your child here and you are sending them abroad for someone else to train. And that person already has responsibilities. It's because it becomes a mess. Who in this world can do this apart from God? It is not too late. If you have sent your children overseas, you can tell them to come back. So parents, this is a word for us. You can see her, a teenager. Look at what she has experienced. And this was made possible because of the support she received from her parents. Youth all over the world, what advice do you also have for them?
It's all over the world. The advice I have for you is to be contented with what you have here in Nigeria. Anybody that's trying to deceive you, like majority of them will be coming home during December period. You don't know what they are facing in. The clothes they are wearing can cover the body, but you don't know what they are facing. So the advice I have for them is to be content with what you have and does not look what others have, because God's time is the best, and you can easily make it here in Nigeria without going to Europe.
You have heard that? Amen.
Yeah, I forgot to say one thing. On the way, many girls have been raped, and some of them came back with unwanted pregnancy, of which is not supposed to be so. If the parents advise them well, yeah. If you don't have money to sponsor the children to school, you can put them in any portion of handwork. They can easily learn handwork. It's better than to encourage them to go and they'll come back with unwanted pregnancy. Pregnancy that they don't know the father.
So if anyone walk up to you now and say, I will sponsor you to go back on this journey, what will you say?
I will tell the person there is no need. I've gone there, I've experienced it, and it's not a journey that is advisable for anyone to go.
Escuchamos esta conmovedora experiencia de esta joven que estuvo involucrada en este mortal viaje tratando de cruzar ilegalmente a Europa desde Nigeria a través de Libia. Ella nos cuenta que fue un viaje del cual hoy en día se arrepiente porque estuvo 3 días bajo un insolente sol en el desierto donde no hubo comida, no hubo agua, donde muchas personas fallecieron. Además, también comenta que después de pasar este sufrimiento por el desierto y fueron enlatados, literalmente encapsulados en un bote inflable en el mar, en medio del océano, donde no tenían ninguna opción para poder sobrevivir. Realmente esta joven cuenta que ella es una sobreviviente a un viaje que no tiene regreso. Cuenta que en esta experiencia no tenían que comer, no tenían agua para beber. Muchos fallecieron por causa de las enfermedades que padecieron. Así que esta joven dice que también fue víctima de gente inescrupulosa que se aprovechó de su necesidad para poder hacer dinero a través de ellos, tratando de llevarlos a otro país. Ella nos cuenta que además de eso, después de estar 3 días en el mar sin rescate alguno, sin opción alguna, ella cuenta que fueron arrestados por la policía en Libia y estuvieron en prisión por más de 3 meses con la misma ropa, teniendo condiciones paupérrimas y deplorables que no los dejaban sobrevivir y estar en condiciones óptimas. Ella cuenta que realmente fue un sufrimiento, un padecimiento muy duro, y la mayoría de ellos son jóvenes que estaban tratando de encontrar un mejor futuro, pero hoy aconseja a los jóvenes de su país que aquí mismo en su país pueden hacer las cosas mejores, que deben de estar contentos y agradecidos con lo que tienen, porque ese viaje es un viaje mortal, un viaje sin regreso, y que no tienen alternativas o mejores futuros para ellos. Continuamos.
Nous avons entendu le témoignage de cette jeune fille qui a dit qu'elle a voyagé à l'étranger pour chercher des verts pâturages. Elle a dit que le voyage a duré pendant presque 2 semaines. Ils ont fait même perdre la vie le long de ce chemin. Et il dit que le véhicule devait prendre entre 8 personnes. Ils étaient 48 entassés comme des sardines dans ce voyage. Une fois qu'ils sont arrivés, ils se sont retrouvés comme en prison dans un camp de réfugiés avant de les mettre sur des radeaux pour traverser la mer. Le bateau était très fragile, c'était un bateau pneumatique. Il fallait qu'ils se coupent les ongles pour éviter de percer le bateau et que tout le monde ne tombe dans l'eau. Ils ont dit que quelqu'un est mort dans le bateau et le corps a commencé à dépérir, à se décomposer dans le bateau. Et il a fallu le jeter à la mer. Et au milieu de la mer, on devait leur donner un téléphone pour appeler un secours du côté de l'Italie pour que les secours puissent bien les sauver en mer. Mais personne n'est venu à leur secours. C'est par la grâce de Dieu qu'ils furent en dérive jusqu'à retourner sur les côtes libyennes où ils furent emprisonnés et finalement déportés. Le conseil qu'elle donne, c'est que les mères ne doivent jamais encourager leurs enfants à partir à l'étranger dans des conditions illégales. Le conseil qu'ils donnent aux jeunes, c'est de jamais céder aux conquêtes des chimères, car ces voyages sont mortels, ces voyages ne sont que pour les détruire. Il vaut mieux rester dans son pays et vivre ici au Nigeria, car la grâce de Dieu est suffisante.
My name's Osama Osifu. I'm a student of University of Benin, 300 level. I studied business at Benin. This is how my story goes. I was a little kid since I started dreaming about Europe, going to Europe. So ever since, the thing has been on my blood ever since. So I have to beg my brother, for my brother to help me travel to Europe. So my brother said, okay, no problem, it will help me. So by borrowing money, given to me, for me going down, the way I started my journey, so I have to use through the desert, first of all. It was all connections. I have to use through the desert. Get into desert, I have to be in Saba because we're being loaded with like 36 people in numbers. Being there, we're being kidnapped by people called an Arab people. So getting to the prison where they kept us, opening the prison, we see a lot of people out there, over a lot of 200 people plus.
Okay, we just want to understand you, brother. You said as you're on your journey through the desert, you were kidnapped. Can you explain how you were kidnapped?
How I was kidnapped? Passing through the desert was not a problem, but getting to Saba, we were being kidnapped by selling us because our own destination was to drop us in other places, whereby the vehicle was being transferred to other places. That's why we were being kidnapped.
How?
So from there, it was all here. So being there, so I had a friend out there who was just asking me, do you know where you are? I said, no. He said, you are being kidnapped. They are holding you for ransom for you to pay huge amount. I said, okay, let me just be waiting what will happen. So the next day, they asked me to bring a number which I would use to call my brother. Then I now bring the number out. By bringing the number out, calling my brother, the next thing I could hear on my back, a pipe. Put it down on my back. So I started screaming, shouting, hitting me all over the places that I should tell my brother to pay a huge amount of 250,000 naira for my bill. So my brother was just kind of like, shouting, leave him alone. I will try and raise the money. I will borrow the money. I will try and get the money as soon as possible and all that. So in that process, my dad had a
brother that whilst you were on the phone to your brother, you were being tortured and beaten by your kidnappers.
Yes.
And they demanded a ransom of 250,000 naira.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that case, my dad heard about the incident. So my dad died on the process. I was just like, oh God, why me?
Okay, just say it again, brother. What happened?
My dad died on the process, on the scene.
Okay, your father in Nigeria, upon hearing the news that you were kidnapped, he died.
Yeah. He died on the scene, so I was just all frustrated, being all alone, crying all time, all day in the prison, nobody to talk to, nobody to console me, so I have to console myself with that, maybe by helping myself for not being sick, because a lot of people do die there sometimes a day, sometimes two times a day, they did die. So being there, I was being tortured until when my brother went to borrow the money. He now sent the money down straight to where I was. So after sending the money down, someone took me from the place, take me from that place called Ahmadiyya down to Sahara Colombia in the same suburb. So I went straight down to Sahara Colombia, where I went to the ghetto, where
okay, and sorry, brother, for how long were you in that prison environment where you were being tortured?
I spent over a month and 3 weeks. I was being in the cell for a month and 3 weeks. So being there, after being in the ghetto, there was a man that called me and said that, okay, I explained everything, my pain for him, and give him the listening ear. After saying that, then and I said, okay, I should help him to do a servant work for like 3 weeks. And from there, it will help me to push me straight down to Tripoli, because I was still continuing my journey. Because the reason why I still want to continue my journey, because going back home is a very risky thing. That desert is very risky, going back. So I have to continue my journey. Being on the Tripoli, I called my brother on the phone again, and I asked my brother that, please, in all means, just try and raise this money for me so I could cross. So I could just do this once and for all, because I wouldn't mind using any illegal way by crossing or something like that. So my brother looked for the money, for where it's borrowed, and sent the money. I sent in the money. My connection man, the one that wanted to cross me, said I should wait for a weather to come, because they always read weather before we could cross. So we're waiting for weather, being in the camp. There were a lot of people out there waiting for weather, being in the camp for us to cross. So we were waiting there at the time the weather came. So that took us on the boat. Took us on the boat, walking down on the boat by driving through the sea. After like 2 hours on the journey, so the sea patrollers came in. That's the Libya police. They trapped us down. They said I should stop the boat. By stopping the boat, they drive down close to us. After that, one of the policemen jumped down to our boat. By jumping down to our boat, he now asked the captain on the seat that they should sit to the other close side. Then the captain did exactly what he said. Then he now sat down on the pitch which we wanted to use to drive the boat. So the other policeman threw a life jacket for a Libyan police, was putting on a life jacket. From there, he now turned the boat. Turning the boat, he now record by calling other rescue through ship. So before we could know what happened, when the ship came. So after they now put us on the ship. From there, they drive down to a dry sea land.
Okay, so what you're saying, brother, is that on the final leg of your journey from Libya to Italy, as you were in the boat going there, the sea patrol, arrested all of the illegal immigrants in that boat, and you were taken back to Libya. Is that right?
Yes. I was taken back to Libya in prison, where we've been. We've been there for so long, by being maltreated, beating us all time, all day, no good food, no good water. Sometimes 5 days we don't eat. We don't even know what we call food. We're being denied for 1 month, not being taking our baths, brushing our teeth. I'm taking the sun for like 5 hours, being punishing us because we came illegally. as in Canada. So what happened, the international body came in for our rescue by helping us. That's ION, International Organization on Migration, came in by helping us, bringing us a toothbrush, boxers, singlets, shampoos, and all that. So by bringing that, before we could know what happened, we started arranging for our deporting. So from there, being in the prison, we're being maltreated. People do die all time, all day. Sometimes 2 persons die in a day. They keep beating us, messing us up, no good toilets, a lot of diseases out there in the prison. Why people cry, shed tears, just for them to go back to their country. They always lock us inside, not being seen anything. They don't give us good food.
So finally, brother, you said that an international organization, the IOM, came to your rescue and they assisted you to return to Nigeria. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it did.
So upon arriving in Nigeria, tell us what happened.
2 buses came, IOM that produced the 2 buses. The one is for those people that want to go straight down to their own destination, that's their own state. The other one is for the one that is going to Synagogue Church of All Nations.
So you mean to say the International Organization for Migration provided these buses and gave all of you the choice between returning to your states or coming to the Synagogue Church of All Nations, is that right?
Yeah, international body.
Wow. Well, we thank God that we are known to be a father of the fatherless and a benefactor to the needy. We thank God for that. Glory be to God. That is a good name. And that is what we should be known for. It's what we should live for. It's what we should die for. Because as we know, Jesus Christ is a roadmap to the lost. He is a companion to the lonely, bread to the hungry, and water to the thirsty. And this is what the mission and vision of Emmanuel TV is all about. Changing lives, changing nations, and changing the world. So we thank God that this international body actually recognized this and encouraged the people present here to come down to the Synagogue Church of All Nations. So, brother, here you are today. Upon all that you passed through, can you tell us the amount that your brother actually gave to you for this trip? How much was that amount, and what do you now think you could have used the amount to do if you had not embarked on such a journey?
I wish I could not travel. At least I would have used that money for business. By now, the total amount of the money was about 500,000. If I have had that money, I would have utilized it very well for myself instead of wasting it.
So, brother, what was your impression of Nigeria or your country before, and now compare that to afterwards when you have now returned home?
I thought Nigeria was here before I could travel. Now I knew that Nigeria is a heaven.
So, brethren, I think we are listening to what our brother is saying. At this point, we have to speak to viewers all over the world. We have to ask you to examine your life based on the experiences that we are listening to. Just tell me, where in this world, without labor, will you find money in the pockets and food on the table? This is the impression of many people. They feel if they travel abroad, that they'll meet greener pastures, that everything will just come smoothly, easily. But where in this world, without labor, will you just find money in the pocket, food on the table? You will get to heaven first before seeing such things. And we have to realize that it is hardship that actually promotes our vision. It is difficulty that enhances our vision. It is where there is no competition that there's no vision. There is always proper vision when there is tough competition. So let us learn from the experiences of our brethren today. Don't ever run from competition because it promotes your vision. For example, a situation where there are just a few positions, but millions of people are seeking for that position, just a few opportunities, but millions are demanding for those opportunities. It's not that there are no jobs. There are jobs available. There are jobs everywhere, but few are available and many are seeking for them. Therefore, we should not just run from competition and feel that by traveling abroad we'll find greener pastures. It's not where you are that matters, it is who you are that matters. And therefore, you have to stay and fight it through. It's not your certificate that will guarantee your success. Even if you have a certificate, you still have to run the race. You may have a first or second class certificate. That does not guarantee you success. Don't be surprised that someone with a lower class certificate may even get a better job than someone with a first class certificate. Because at the end of the day, these experiences in life that we're hearing about, we often have the full package of it outside of class. And experience is the best teacher. So these experiences we're hearing about right now, we often have the full packages of it outside of the class. So brethren, once again, let us learn from the experiences that we're listening to right now. This is a message for our viewers all over the world. Please take this message to your friends, to your colleagues, especially those who feel that they have to travel abroad to seek greener pastures, to become who God says they are. It's not where you are that counts, it is who you are. There are many people that we think have traveled abroad. We don't know the kind of life they are living there. They may come back to Nigeria at Christmas time, seasonal time, and come back home, and you may look at them and think that they're living a flashy life, but you don't actually know the kind of life they are living there. Appearance out there is deceptive. So please let us be careful. Parents who are here, warn your children. Learn from the experiences that we've been listening to right now.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Choma Precious, and these are my children. The other one here is 3 years. This one is 6 years. Their names are Kelvin and Williams. The reason why I traveled to Libya was that when I born the last one 2 years and my husband left me. So I was suffering patchy. Meanwhile, I have a little shop at my state in Enugu State where I used to sell provision. Earlier this year, January, my stepsister now called me. I said, "Sister, yes, can you come to Europe?" I said, "How manage? Where, when, how?" He said, "Over there is okay. She is okay. That if I can make it, I should come to Europe." I said, "Okay, no problem. How do I go about it?" She now told me how to go. Then the excitement of that, my sister, she's there, she's okay, I have to go and see her. Then I sold everything at my shop, raised up the money, and started the journey. I sold everything in my shop because I wanted to go to the Europe. Then I now called her, told her, "Sister, see, I've raised the amount you have told me that I should bring." He said, "Okay, go and meet this so man in Bini. He will direct you the way to go to Libya." I said, "Okay." From there to desert. We entered desert, we are suffering. They packed us as if we are ants inside there, both the children. They were crying, no food. We even begged for food for inside the desert to give them. Any food we see, we eat. Even the drinking of dead bodies' water, we also drank it. We are crying, suffering, begging people to give us food. Then we reached to the last village of Tripoli, the Libya. There we reached. We waited there for a month and watching the immigration not to catch us on the road. On our way to there, they now bring big trucks. They packed us. We are about 200 and something, both pregnant women, children, everybody, men and women. They packed us there. They now cover us with watermelon and cartons of fruits. We are crying over the people. We are fainting inside the trucks. No air, nothing, no water. My children will also cry. We're using my hand to cover their mouth so that we will not cry. Because if they cry, once the Arab man saw them, he will use cane and start beating them. Why are you people shouting? So to avoid it, I will now hold their mouth so that they will not cry it out. But meanwhile, people will be shouting, fainting inside the hills, inside the truck, that we are dying, no water, until the last checking point is about to enter the Tripoli, when the police now noticed that human beings are inside the truck, and now say that you people must open the truck whether you like it or not. Then When they opened the truck, they saw about 200 and something human beings inside the truck. The Arab man shouted, Nigeria! Hey! We are crying, begging, please, sir. They are flogging boys, flogging women, asking us what people are doing in Libya. What are you people doing in Libya? We don't hear Arab. We will be flogging you, beating you.
So can you just tell us, because you said you are properly packed inside that truck and covered with fruit items. Can you tell us how did they manage to know that there were human beings tucked under those melons?
Because people can't bear it anymore. People are fainting, dying. We now started to shout so that we will survive.
So it was your shout that the
yes,
police had,
yes,
that they had to check?
Yes.
So after they discovered you in the truck, can you tell us where was your next destination?
They carried all of us to the prison, where we spent 2 weeks and in one prison there. No food, nothing, no water. We even drank our piss there to quench our thirstness. Everybody, even my children, both people over there, drank their piss to test their thirstness. We are crying, shouting, we want to go back to Nigeria. Please, we want to go back to Nigeria. Sometimes I do carry the small children and be begging the good ones among them. Please help us. We want to go back to our country. Then I now said, okay, since people want to go back to your country, they now transfer us to another prison in Tripoli, which they call that place Fella Camp. That's where we met some of our Nigerians there. So that place, even worse than where we are before. The same thing, nothing, no food, no water, salt water. If you drink it, your stomach will be turning you till that day goes down. But see them, we are crying, begging. Even my
We have heard from the sister who went through terrible condition, not only her, even her 2 little children. We heard from her that she had to drink her urine. The same thing applied to her children for survival, because the condition they find themselves was where there was no food provisions, there was no water, and life was so difficult. So now tell us how you were rescued back to Nigeria.
So when we are crying, begging Arab people who want to go back to Nigeria, they now invited IOM to rescue us. They were asking us, you people are Nigerian, but there we are mixing. Some are Ghana, some are this, but Nigerian people will be crying, want to go back to our country. Then they say, okay, no problem, we'll help you and come back to your country. That's how we come back to Nigeria.
So it was the international organization that finally rescued you and deported you back to Nigeria.
Yes.
So what advice, having gone through this terrible experience, what will you advise people all over the world, people that are still now in the pipeline, planning seriously to travel out of their country and embark on an illegal journey? What advice you want to give to them all?
Advice to all of them, they should not go. Even they tell you that there is money flowing on the floor, there is good life there, don't be deceived by them, because all are deceivers. They cannot tell you the truth until when you reach there, you see it by yourself. I'm advising them all that even planning now today, they are moving, don't go illegally to Libya.
You mean to not travel on an illegal journey?
Yes.
Yes, we have heard from the sister.
To Europe.
And we just want to inform us that the man of God, Prophet T.B. Joshua, has indeed heard the cry of those people. He has listened to all the experiences, and he has seen the need to indeed support them. As the man of God always says in his message, that as Christians, we are called to respond to all human needs, for that is what love entails. And we as Christians cannot afford to look the other way when our brothers are in need. That looking the other way is equal to rejecting Christ himself. And even Christ himself told us in his word that whatever we do to the least of these brothers of his, that we do unto him. And that is why the man of God, Prophet T.B. Joshua, together with the Manual TV partners, have come forward to respond in true love to the need of those people who have recently deported from the country of Libya. I want to start with the cash gifts that the man of God and the Manual TV partners want to use to support them. Let's not forget, as I said earlier on, that when they arrived in Nigeria, they arrived in their numbers. But looking at the terrible conditions some of them were in, some were severely weak due to the hardship we went through. They were suffering a lot of health conditions. So they had to be quickly attended to. They were supported with cash gifts, and they are now back out there to start a new life. And while some remain till this Sunday service, and they are the ones who are seen here, who have also come forward to share their experience with us. So the man of God, together with Emmanuel TV partners, in support of these people to start a new life out there in the world, the people we are seeing in the row in front of us, the cash gift that has been given to them is in the sum of 7,600,000 naira. So once again, they are going to be supported with a cash sum which is amounting to 7.6 million naira. Since their arrival here in Nigeria and to the Synagogue Church of All Nations, the man of God, Prophet TB Joshua, has been providing them with accommodation, transportation to and fro to the accommodation, and feeding. And due to the health conditions they suffered as a result of what they went through, their medical needs were also taken care of. So they were provided accommodation, transportation, feeding, and medical care. So all this is in tune at a sum of 2.4 million naira. So they have been supported with a sum of 2.4 million naira to take care of their accommodation, transportation, and feeding. And in all, together with the cash gifts, which we are seeing that's been handed over to them right now by the evangelists, and the accommodation, transportation, feeding, and medical care, the total sum that man of God, Prophet TB Joshua, and the Manual TV partner have so far spent on the deportees from Libya is in the tune of 10 million naira.
Después de escuchar las terribles experiencias de estos jóvenes que atravesaron y que fueron deportados desde Libia aquí a Nigeria, el profeta TB Joshua no ha ignorado su necesidad. Y es por este motivo que en este momento se le está haciendo entrega a cada uno de ellos de un regalo en efectivo de 7 millones de nairas que serán repartidos entre todos ellos de acuerdo a sus necesidades. Además, el profeta TB Joshua también ha proveído el transporte, el hospedaje y el cuidado médico de todos ellos por toda una semana, que suman 2.400.000 nairas para la gloria y la honra del Señor Jesucristo, porque el profeta TB Joshua enseña que el mirar hacia otro lado cuando hay alguien en necesidad es rechazar a Jesucristo mismo. Es por esta razón que además de este regalo en efectivo, el profeta también les está dando 2 bultos de arroz a cada uno de ellos para que cubran su alimentación. En el nombre de Jesús, esta es la manera en que el profeta TB Joshua atiende el clamor de estos jóvenes después del sufrimiento que padecieron tratando de buscar un mejor futuro. Damos gracias a Jesucristo por la vida de cada uno de estos jóvenes.
Vous voyez l'assistance que l'homme de Dieu, le prophète TB Joshua, vient d'apporter à tous ces jeunes qui ont été déportés après être allés à l'aventure. Donc vous voyez en ce moment, ils sont en train de distribuer à chacun d'eux 2 sacs de riz. Il a dépensé une somme de 2,4 millions naira pour leur alimentation, leur logement et leurs frais médicaux. 2,4 millions naira. Et il a donné en plus de cela 7,6 millions naira pour les dons financiers en espèces. En tout, l'homme de Dieu vient de leur donner, le prophète TB Joshua vient de leur donner une somme de 10 millions de naira en total pour tous, pour leur permettre maintenant de partir sur la vie avec un nouveau départ, avec des fonds pour ouvrir des affaires, pour démarrer des affaires dans leur vie. Et vous voyez en ce moment un don en nature leur redonner 2 sacs de riz pour chacun d'entre eux. Voilà ça en quoi Dieu nous a appelés, changer les vies, changer les nations et changer le monde. Rappelez-vous, la Bible nous déclare que lorsqu'on est objet d'amour, il faut regarder autour de vous, car l'amour cherche ceux qui sont nécessiteux, et c'est en quoi nous sommes appelés aujourd'hui, comme vous le voyez. Ça, c'est le don financier qui vient de l'homme de Dieu et des partenaires des Mano Télévision, comme vous le voyez en ce moment. Que Dieu vous bénisse.
As I've said earlier on, the man of God, Prophet T.B. Joshua, Emmanuel TV partners have indeed come forward to support those people that are just recently deported from Libya back to Nigeria to start a new life out there in the world. And as we said earlier on, when they arrived at the Synagogue Church of All Nations a week ago, that many of them were in terrible health conditions, and there was no way they could wait till this Sunday. So immediately, the man of God and the Emmanuel TV partners saw to their need and helped them financially, and those are now back to their various states and hometowns to start a new life. And today, we are seeing the second batch right here at the Synagogue Church of All Nations. And as I said earlier on, it is a real privilege to be in the positions to give. And we thank God Almighty for using His anointed one, Prophet T.B. Joshua, and the Emmanuel TV partners to indeed meet the people at the point of their need. And once again, the cash gifts they are being handed over now is in the tune of 7.6 million naira. And everybody that is seated right here now have been handed over a total sum of 7.6 million naira to help them start a new life out there in the world. And since they arrived here at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, the man of God, Prophet T.B. Joshua, has provided them with accommodation, transportation, feeding, and medical care. And that is in the tune of 2.4 million naira. So everybody that is seated here right now is being given and supported with a total cash sum of 10 million naira. Thank you.
Damos gracias a Jesucristo en este momento. Como pueden observar, el profeta T.B. Joshua y los socios de Emmanuel TV están cubriendo la necesidad de estos jóvenes que llegaron después de experimentar una mortal experiencia, un padecimiento y un sufrimiento que marcó sus vidas. Hoy el profeta les está haciendo entrega de una provisión para que ellos puedan iniciar una nueva vida de regreso a sus hogares. Les ha dado un regalo en efectivo que suma 7 millones de nairas, y además les ha proveído 2 bultos de arroz a cada uno. Y durante toda una semana el profeta ha pagado el transporte, el hospedaje y todo el cuidado médico que ellos han necesitado por las dificultades que padecieron durante este viaje. Así que, como pueden ver, el profeta T.B. Joshua atiende las necesidades de estas personas en el nombre de Jesús.
Nous vous rappelons, vous voyez, que ce que l'homme de Dieu a fait, la compassion de Jésus-Christ s'est manifestée aujourd'hui sous vos yeux. Vous les voyez, tous ces jeunes qui ont été déportés, qui sont venus dans la souffrance, après l'errance dans le désert et dans la mer, sont retrouvés maintenant ici au pays, au Nigeria, et l'homme de Dieu a répondu à l'appel dans leur vie pour les secourir. Et aujourd'hui, un don financier d'un total de 10 millions de naira vient de leur être attribué à chacun d'eux, dont 2 400 000 pour les frais médicaux, leur logement, et les frais médicaux et de logement, et une somme de 7 600 000 naira qui est distribuée en espèces pour les aider à faire un nouveau départ dans la vie. Continuez à regarder, rappelez-vous à quoi nous sommes appelés. Jésus est venu pour changer les vies, et l'acte de justice et de charité vont de pair. C'est en quoi nous sommes appelés, car c'est l'objet même de l'amour et de soutenir ceux qui sont perdus. Rappelez-vous que Jésus est le pain de vie pour les affamés, l'eau vive pour les assoiffés et l'itinéraire pour les perdus.
And in addition to the cash gift of 7.6 million naira given to the group here, the anointed man of God and Emmanuel TV partners has also added 2 bags of rice each for them, and also a mirror book for the salvation of their souls. Remember, our contribution to others as Christians is an assignment from God. For that is what we are born for, living for, and are going to die for. So what you are seeing right now is an example shown by the anointed man of God and Emmanuel TV partners to others, that we should always make a tangible contribution to others who are in need, because we are blessed to bless others. We are saved to save others. Jesus Christ is a problem solver, and as Christians, we are also called to be problem solvers. So right now, as we are talking here, some of them are receiving treatments because of their bad health condition when they arrived, and all those ones too are receiving their cash gift and also the foodstuff and every other thing that their colleagues here are receiving right now. And also remember that this gift you have been given, the money, the foodstuff, all these are to encourage you that there is hope. Now that you are back to your country, we have heard from you, having compared the experience you went through and the condition in your country before you left. The difference is clear. What you thought was a bad economic hardship, you have seen greater hardship, greater suffering, and at the end did not arrive your destination, but back to where you started your journey from, only to appreciate that the country was not as bad as you thought. So now you have to strive to make a living, make good plans with what you have received today to help yourself and help your future. And not ever think of embarking on such a journey. And we know that youth all over the world that have listened to your experience would not want to go through the same experience. So this is a lesson to everyone. Not only in this country, we have the same problem of immigrants, illegal immigrants in virtually all countries, different countries all over the world. So this is a lesson to everyone. Wherever you are hearing us from right now, please let us be content with our present condition, but rather to work harder and plan for our future, rather than seeking a shortcut to success and breakthrough. And we know that the shortcuts are often the wrong cuts. So please, let us learn from our experience, and God bless you in Jesus' name. We all know that economic depression is everywhere. Every country has their own problems. So if you think the problem in your country is so much, don't go through this kind of experience, traveling illegally, going through the desert, ending up in the prison, finding yourself in a boat to a journey of no return, before you realize that where you are coming from is not as bad. So please, live your life for the glory of God. The anointed man of God, Prophet T.B. Joshua, and the Emmanuel TV partner have given their support. And God Almighty will continue to supply in Jesus' name.
My name is Choma Precious. I'm thanking the Pastor T.B. Joshua for offering me the sum of 300,000. Thank you very much. Without this, your help, I don't know what I would have been today. I'm 4 bags of rice. These are my children. Now they can go to school. I can start up my business again. Thank you very much once again.
And we also want to say thank you for accepting the gift, because it is a blessing. It is a blessing to give. Because when we give, we are planting seeds that will be multiplied back into our lives. So on behalf of the anointed man of God, Prophet T.B. Joshua and Emmanuel TV partners, thank you for also receiving the gift, and that is a blessing to us.
My name is Akebo Sharon. My name is Akebo Sharon. I'm here to say thank you to Pastor T.B. Joshua and the Emmanuel TV partners that blessed me with a sum of 150 and 2 bags of rice. With this, my mom can start up something, and from the profits she's making, I can go back to school and start my education again. Say thank you. though this journey was the worst thing that has ever happened to me, it is also the best thing that has also happened to me because it gives me the privilege to step my foot to Synagogue Church of All Nations.
My name is Dibia Franca. I study Science Laboratory Technology, Polytechnic of Delta State Polytechnic, Ozoro. I want to thank Prophet TB Joshua for everything he's done for us, for accepting us as his sons and daughters, for taking care of us. He has done so much for us from the first day we step our feet to this place. We will never regret this day. It's a wonderful day, a day that we'll never regret. And thank him for giving me the sum of 150,000 to start up something and to support my family. And I also want to thank the partnership of Emmanuel TV for them giving me 2 bags of rice. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Prophet TB Joshua.
Escuchamos las palabras de agradecimiento de algunos de los deportados que recibieron este enorme regalo de parte del profeta TB Joshua y de los socios de Emmanuel TV. Ellos están agradecidos y ellos dicen que encontraron un refugio y una casa de amor aquí en la Sinagoga Iglesia de todas las naciones. Y ahora ellos harán todo lo posible para que puedan utilizar este dinero de una manera correcta y para poder continuar con su futuro de la manera en que Dios quiere que ellos continúen.
Vous les avez entendus remercier le prophète et remercier les partenaires de Emmanuel Télévision qui ont eu l'amabilité, le cœur de Christ, le cœur du chrétien, le cœur de Dieu pour leur donner cet argent, pour les aider à se reconvertir, à repartir sur de nouvelles bases dans leurs affaires, dans leur vie. Certains vont reprendre leurs études, certains vont pouvoir reprendre des affaires et maintenant ils partent de pied ferme avec un avenir radieux car Dieu les a sortis de ces problèmes pour les fortifier et les bénir.
Vivir una insoportable situación, un sufrimiento y un padecimiento, y podemos observar cómo el profeta TB Joshua y los socios de Emmanuel TV han entregado de su amor, de su cuidado, de su protección y ahora también de una provisión económica y una provisión de alimentos a cada uno de estos jóvenes y de estas personas que fueron afectadas durante este viaje queriendo encontrar un mejor futuro. Y como dice el profeta TB Joshua, lo que hoy tienes en tus manos en términos de tiempo, de amor, de cuidado,
and we know but aspire to acquire, desire to admire. This is October, remember we have Messiah. It will take us higher, even in fire. Deliver us to December. We will know but aspire to acquire, desire to admire. Being in this church today is the desire I admire. See, Papa, is the desire I admire. Being in a synagogue is the desire I admire. Daddy, you take me higher, even in fire. Oh, deliver me to December. I will not bother but aspire to acquire, desire to admire. Seeing our parents is a desire I admire. See our loved ones is a desire I admire. Going back to school is a desire I admire. Daddy, you take me higher, even in fire. Deliver me to December. I will not bother but aspire to acquire, desire to admire.
To God be the glory.
What a marvelous God, what a marvelous God. He has done marvelous things for me. What a marvelous God, what a marvelous. He's going to do marvelous things for me. Come on, let's rise up. What a marvelous God, what a marvelous God. He has done marvelous things for me. What a marvelous God, what a marvelous. He's going to do marvelous things for me. Father, to